Hello.
How's it going?
So today we have a little bit of a lineup of articles, two a little bit of faddier articles. We got first one: Bitcoin swings as China regulators punish company over crypto. So basically, in China, what happened? Basically, there was a company that allegedly was providing cryptocurrency related services, and so they basically kind of shut it down. That's kind of how it went. Nothing amazing, nothing that we didn't already know. It's already the same thing over and over again. It seems like they like to report it a lot, that someone was not following the rules that China gave, and so China came in and they shut this basically banking access of this company down, so they can't offer or deal in cryptocurrencies anymore. That's kind of the news. It looks like we had a little bit of a dip right after this news came out. Was it a substantial dip? Nah, we went down like 800 to 1,000 bucks. Did it lead to a reversal or a big move down later? No. Was it a
No,
big
most of it got bought back up anyway. I mean, there's always going to be bots scanning the news and selling as soon as something bearish comes out, but there's not really much more China could do. Got bought right back up. Like, I think China has pretty much exhausted all their bullets at this point, and yeah, I don't think we have to worry too much about China anymore.
Yep, that's kind of what it looks like. So any more articles that will come out related with China and their crackdown on crypto is gonna have less and less and less and less of an effect over time. We already know that. We remember from the days of Mr. McAfee shouting out his coins and saying that this is like the best coin in the world. Yeah, it's worked at the beginning. He managed to pump the coins, but then over time, the effect of his tweets got weaker and weaker and weaker, and actually at a certain point, the coins that he was shouting out were going down. As soon as he shouted them out, they just started dumping. That's interesting. Maybe whenever China is gonna come out with another bearish statement about crypto, maybe we're gonna see a pump. That would be that would be the interesting scenario in the future,
That would be great.
because that happens a lot. It seems like recently. Going on, Barclays blocks customers from sending funds to Binance. So, following the basically crackdown on Binance that happened in the UK, Barclays now suspended any type of deposit towards Binance. They're not suspending withdrawals. You can still withdraw to your bank from Binance, from Barclays. But of course, since they are providing derivatives and options as well that are not regulated, of course, the UK decided to issue a statement and say that no, you can't do this, you can't deal in derivatives without being regulated. So following that, basically also Barclays took this
Yeah.
decision. So is it a big deal? Not really.
No. I think it's also important to note that there are banks in the United States that will not let you buy and sell crypto, period, even to Coinbase, a fully regulated company. They have the green light, they're traded on the New York Stock Exchange, and there are still banks in the United States that will not let you interact with it. So an exchange that got pretty much banned in a country, a bank stepping in and saying, "Hey, we're not going to let you break the law using our stuff." Yeah, it kind of like you kind of saw this coming. I don't really think this is a big deal at all. And it's also important to note that they can't stop blockchain if you buy it from a different exchange and then send your coins there. They can't stop you. I don't recommend doing that. I'm never going to tell you to break your country's law. But at the end of the day, like, crypto is crypto. Like, they can't stop it.
Yep.
And it's also important to note that you could still use the Binance DEX. There's no laws out there in the world that stop you from using any decentralized exchange, except for maybe in China.
What I think the problem is mostly is that all these countries have these derivatives and options and things like this. And I know that Binance also has stock coins, meaning that you can trade stocks directly on Binance using like a tokenized version of the stock. So I think those are the main issues that that the FCA has found with Binance. Yes, of course, you can still use the decentralized exchanges. You will not have any type of problems with those, mainly due to the fact that, first of all, you can't really stop people from using them because they're decentralized. So what are you gonna shut down? You can't really shut it down. You can, well, there is a way you can shut it down, but still, you gotta make it a crime somehow, and like you gotta find out who's doing what and where. It's all a big mess. They don't even know what their centralized exchanges are yet. So that's, you can still, you're still in the clear by using DEXs. Of course, the problem is that you don't have derivatives, and if you maybe wanted to trade Bitcoin futures or things like, or options, yes, there are some viable options out there for derivatives or in decentralized derivatives, but we're not there yet as centralized exchanges. The ability that centralized exchanges give you are much bigger, and the liquidity that you can access in centralized exchanges is still bigger, unfortunately, as of today. So if you want to trade on Binance, you want to trade derivatives, you just have to move to a country where you can, and that's
just move, bro.
Yeah,
no big deal.
Just move. Yeah, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. It's 2021. You can. That's but going forward, Bitcoin mining firm Argo Blockchain explores secondary listing on Nasdaq. So this is a mining company. They are already listed. If I remember correctly, they are listed already in the UK. Yep, they're listed on the London Stock Exchange, and they're interested into getting listed also on the Nasdaq. I know that Nasdaq also added to their index also a Bitcoin mining company already. So we already have presence in the US tech stocks of Bitcoin mining companies. It seems like you will be able to access more capital if you get listed on Nasdaq. So a lot of reasons to why you would wanna get listed on the Nasdaq, right? So bigger capital, much more money, you can finance your operations much easier, and it's the biggest, tech stock exchange in the world, right? So it's many reasons why you want to get listed there. So we'll see how this plays out over time. Probably they will get accepted. There's other companies that are already listed, so is it gonna be a big deal in the future? This Argo blockchain company, probably it's gonna be a way in which you can diversify your crypto exposure if you don't want to hold crypto directly. So it's just another option. It's good to have it. Of course, you gotta do all your due diligence into the company, understand if they're profitable, not profitable, and all those types of things. But still another way in which you can diversify your crypto exposure through stocks. So interesting. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it'll be good if they get listed. Is it a huge deal? Nah, there's other companies that are already listed, but yeah, I mean it's good for them definitely if they do. So we'll have to wait and see if they're successful. Not really too much to say here.
And then moving forward, Aave to introduce permission deployment for institutions later in July. So Aave is one of the biggest DeFi lending and borrowing markets at the moment out there, and they are starting to launch a platform that is going to be geared towards institutionals, and they will only support at launch Ethereum, USDC, Bitcoin, and Aave, of course, which is their own coin. So that's an interesting development. It shows that institutions are getting interested into decentralized finance. It shows that Aave is ready for having institutions on board. Looks like, of course, you're not going to be able to access those pools. They're going to be pooled differently. The name of the service of the DApp is going to be Aave Pro. So it's going to be interesting to see how this is going to impact the DeFi market overall. Getting institutions on board in the DeFi market is quite bullish. It's insane thinking about this. At the beginning, it felt like it was just a little bit of a game for us cryptonauts, and now it seems like it's becoming a serious thing, DeFi. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see the development. How many institutions are gonna be interested into it is what I'm waiting for, and probably we're gonna see other articles talking about this news and a little bit more in-depth information to Aave Pro and institutions getting on board on Aave. What do you think?
I mean, I think it's definitely a good sign with institutions coming in. They're not going to let retail make 200% APY and not want a piece of the pie, right? Like, it was only a matter of time until institutions there's still going to be opportunity for crazy APY. It's just going to be, a lot more risk with hacks and rug pulls and all that. But yeah, we'll see like if this platform actually gets used. Hopefully it doesn't wind up like another back situation where everyone gets super hyped and then the platform just gets, just dies. But yeah, wait and see how it debuts. But right now it's looking pretty good, pretty promising.
All right, moving on. What's going on with Bitcoin? You already know the answer. Nothing. So the only thing that is likely changing over time is our volume distribution. We're getting more and more volume towards this bottom consolidation, which is quite a bullish sign. We're getting rejected off POC multiple times, which is not bullish by in itself, but every time we get rejected, we do get a lesser degree of a move down. That China news was actually came out quite close to the POC rejection, so maybe it wasn't even due to the China news by itself, but it was a combination of things. Of course, probably the China news had a little bit of an impact. What I do like a lot though is that altcoins are starting to move up, and that is surprising to see because Bitcoin is not been doing that much. Usually we do have move ups on altcoins. Yes, Bitcoin has to go sideways, but usually it's Bitcoin moves up, then it starts going sideways, and then altcoins go up. It's never the opposite where Bitcoin dumps, it goes sideways, and then altcoins start going up. Well, it happened.
I've seen it.
Yeah, of course, it happened before, but it's not the usual type of alt movement season. So it's interesting that we're seeing that. It could be a good indication that maybe Bitcoin is gearing up for a move up, and we are starting to confirm a little bit more the hypothesis that this is accumulation. We don't know yet. Of course, it might be that altcoins are having a little bit of a bounce and then they just come back down and Bitcoin proceeds lower. But having altcoins go up while Bitcoin is chilling, relaxing, and nothing crazy is happening, it's getting more and more interesting each day passes. So it's definitely interesting. We'll see how this develops. The DIX is a little bit in a move up today. Is it breaking the major level of 92.5? Not yet. We tried a little bit of a move above it and we kind of got rejected. The DXY you have to consider is also based on other currencies, and as we know, and we have seen, the euro is on the consistent move down in this couple of weeks, so it's been moving down, and that's probably why the DXY is increasing. But anything else, stocks are moving up. I'm not even gonna say it. They've been moving up almost every single day. So having stocks go up is always a good indication also for Bitcoin. A potential another leg up for Bitcoin is probable if things keep looking like this. Of course, we don't want to get overextended on stocks where they are just going parabolic, because if that happens, then there's a high risk of a move down that would potentially move crypto also down in the short term. We already know that stocks tend to take more time to recover than Bitcoin in black swan events. So even if that was the case, Bitcoin is probably going to be the fastest one at recovering. Even if this worry of stocks just dumping and going to zero actually, going to zero. I'm joking, of course, I'm exaggerating, but if stocks
in the direction of zero.
In the direction of zero, yeah. So if stocks would start moving down significantly, then yes, Bitcoin is going to move down short term, but it tends to recover faster. So we'll see how this plays out. Intraday, we are having crazy, strange price action where we have like big buys and then big sells and then big buys and then big sells. Probably not a really good trading time. Like if you want to trade this, I'd say stay away. Maybe focus on altcoins that are actually moving. But of course, be careful. You already know if Bitcoin takes a plunge, altcoins will dump like 3 times more. That's kind of the average. So be careful with that. Yeah, I think that we are done for the day.
Yeah, pretty much. Right now, just to go over what I'm seeing is I do see Bitcoin starting to like squeeze tighter and tighter. I'm seeing more and more metrics telling me that. Like if you just look at it as simply daily Bollinger Bands, we did expand to the downside. We held support and now it's starting to contract again. This is actually pretty bullish because that means the next expansion will likely be to the upside. I'm seeing the 2-day TTM squeezing pretty tightly as well. So maybe another week or two before we see any fireworks, but yeah, something's coming. So, I mean, and you should be positioned before it happens. So, yeah.
Yep. Or if you want to not be positioned and you want to take the safe route, you wait for the breakout in one direction and then you wait for a pullback and then you trade that direction. Because it's probably, like, my thinking is if you squeeze for this amount of time, like we have been squeezing for already like 2 months, probably we're going on for another maybe half a month. Probably we'll see some movement towards half of July. That's my thinking. Might be inaccurate, might be wrong. I don't know. But that's kind of what I'm seeing here. And squeezing for this amount of time will lead to some sort of movement, a sustained movement, at least in one direction, because you never consolidate that much without a sustained movement in one direction, at least on average, right? So
that's true. Yeah.
So we will see. But up until we have some sort of movement, we can relax. You don't have to stare at the chart all day, which is relaxing, especially if yeah, go ahead.
If you got to trade, just trade the range. They've given you so many opportunities, right? Like, I mean, this can't stay this easy forever. Just when we go down, buy. When we go up, sell. It's, yeah.
Yep, and people have been doing it more and more and more, whereas the range is becoming tighter and tighter and tighter. That's kind of the reason also, probably. But yeah, we'll talk to you guys tomorrow, and